bet they're like, what's a chip?
Nah. I tried something new earlier for dinner. They got these pizzas from Walmart earlier, and we had cheese. My mom got this bacon and this pizza with like bacon pieces of bacon in it, thin crust, and I tried a slice out of it. And I had those little containers of garlic sauce from Papa John's in the freezer. I found a container of it from last time we had Papa John's. Took it out of the fridge. I warmed it up for about 10 seconds to get the sauce nice and hot. And I was dipping the pizza with bacon and the garlic. It didn't taste that bad. Apparently, bacon, pizza, and garlic actually tastes good together. So that shows that bacon and garlic taste good together.
Well, all right, I'm about to.
I kept going. I went back for more because it was that good.
All right,
because any kind of pizza that has garlic on it is actually good anyway. And it is December 9th. Tomorrow is December 10th. December 10th. A day that in weather history. December 10th and 11th. Starting tomorrow. Big tornado outbreak happened in Kentucky. Happened in Kentucky 1 year ago from tomorrow. Do you guys want to hear about it tonight, or y'all want to hear about it tomorrow?
I might actually go ahead and start the stream.
Okay.
All right, later.
It happened in Bowling Green. It happened in Bowling Green, Mayfield, and Campbellsville. Wait, you guys want to hear about it right now? And you know what the funny part about it is? I recorded so much of the storm coverage from different stations from like Louisville TV stations, Bowling Green, Nashville, Lexington. Didn't get Paducah. Well, I got Evansville. Though. We can't get Paducah on Roku. But we're close enough. We can get Evansville, Louisville, Lexington, and Bowling Green, and Nashville. I got Bowling Green's coverage up. I got almost all of Louisville. I'm working on Lexington right now. Then I'm going to go back to Louisville because I've got Channel 13, Channel 14, 25, 7, Channel 3, working on, and Channel 32, I'm working on Channel WKYT out of Lexington right now. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to work on Channel 11 and Channel 41. A lot of coverage. Then I'm going to do Channel 5 and 4 around Nashville. But I'm going to tell you that night, of course, that morning I'm going to tell you all the story of the tornado outbreak from last year. So I got up that morning. Yeah, that's going to take a lot. I've been working on getting this up since March. Because I didn't know if I should get it up right away or wait a little while. So I kind of waited a little while because I recorded it at my trailer that I used to live in off the TVs. But I'm going to tell you guys something. So I got up that morning. As always, as as everybody always does when there's severe weather, oh, it's Kentucky. It ain't going to get that bad. And of course, we was in a level 4 out of 5. A level 3 out. Part of us was in a level 3 out of 5. And level 4 out of 5 chance of severe weather. We didn't have the high risk. We had enhanced. And marginal. I mean moderate. We was in the moderate where our town was. The enhanced went all the way as far north as Cincinnati and Indianapolis, and down around Memphis and Arkansas. They was in the 5 out of 5 high risk. You know, you got the green, which is the marginal risk, the yellow, which is slight, the orange, which is enhanced, red is moderate, and purple is high. Purple's the worst. And of course, before that day happened, when we had when we normally have our normal severe weather risk, where we don't have tornadoes on the ground and everything is radar indicated when it's just a warning, it's a red polygon. And like when you see a big area in yellow, that's a tornado watch is yellow here. No, I think tornado watches are pink. Now, I think they're pink now. They're not yellow. They used to be yellow, but they're pink. Tornado warnings are red. I said earlier last year when I was doing a weather thing in school, right before I graduated during COVID, I was at school talking about the weather. And I said that there's been a tornado watch and a warning. Watch means conditions are just right for a tornado. Warning means a tornado has been spotted or it's been radar indicated. And then I told them what a tornado emergency is, which I hope to gosh I never have to cover one of those again. A tornado emergency means a tornado warning with life-threatening situation, dangerous situation, and you have a big tornado on the ground doing damage. It means there's something on the ground and it's doing damage, and it's a threat to life and property. And I will tell you this. When the first round of severe weather went through, about 7 o'clock, it wasn't that bad. Because at that time, the bad stuff was down around Jonesboro, Arkansas. And that big tornado, there was a big F5 down there, or F4, that did damage to a nursing home in Arkansas. Had a lot of people was injured, and one death. There was a lot of injuries down there. And then it hit a Dollar General in southeastern Missouri. It destroyed a Dollar General. But I was sitting in my house doing a normal severe weather coverage as if Kentucky's getting normal severe weather. And of course, the first round did have radar indicated tornadoes. It was radar indicated for us. But what we didn't know was what was on the back side of that in parts of Arkansas, Missouri, and Tennessee, what was coming our way. We didn't know that was coming our way. And then about that time, I had got off Facebook Live and got done with severe weather coverage, thinking, okay, maybe we're not going to get anything that day. I got off that day. And I went back to watching wrestling. And then somebody on my weather page that I have on Facebook, somebody sent me a picture because apparently I didn't know I have a follower from down around Mayfield. Somebody sent a message to my weather thing, and I went and got on the weather page and looked at it. Said the courthouse in Mayfield was destroyed. That the courthouse in Mayfield was wiped out. And I was like, oh my God, I may need to jump back on Facebook and and have to jump back on this. And let's just say when I saw that, let's just say I got pale as a ghost. So I'm looking on radar at the time that they sent that in. There was a huge donut hole over Mayfield that just went through Mayfield. And I was looking at that. And then, which of course that was kind of out of the area, so I kind of didn't get up and cover Mayfield on Facebook. Well, I tried to get on Facebook. I was going to get on Facebook to cover the tornado in Dawson Springs that night. I was going to get on Facebook Live and try to cover that. And for the first time ever, I saw a purple polygon tornado warning in Kentucky, which meant PDS tornado warning, particularly dangerous situation, means there was one confirmed on the ground. First time ever we saw a purple polygon tornado warning in Kentucky. And then I saw what looked like a bunch of debris and houses picked up, and it was getting huge in Dawson Springs. So then I was looking at the radar, and then my weather rail goes off and it says tornado emergency for Dawson Springs. And I got on Facebook. I tried to get on YouTube, and YouTube wouldn't work that night. So I got on Facebook, and I said, everybody that's in the Dawson Springs area, take cover now. This is a dangerous situation. And that was in Hopkins County, Kentucky. And that tornado was ranging F4. And that thing stayed together for a good 2 hours. And as it did that, it went toward just a little north of Central City toward Bremen, a little town called Bremen, Kentucky. It picked up, there was a train coming across the train tracks. And the tornado picked the train up off the tracks and laid it over on its side. I hope there was nobody on the train when that happened. I hope the train was just parked. Destroyed houses out through there. Went up through parts of McLean County. Then it went into parts of Ohio County. Went just a little north of Hartford, north of Fordsville. Then it crossed into the county we live in, and there was still a purple tornado warning, which means it was confirmed on the ground. Now we didn't have a tornado emergency. We just had a purple tornado warning for our county of Grayson, where we live at. Which we never get purple box tornado warnings often. We never had purple tornado warning boxes until after that happened. But when you look at a tornado emergency, it'll have a big purple tornado warning box with the little warning box inside the big box. That's what a tornado emergency is. Like I said earlier this year, earlier last year, I didn't want to cover a tornado warning, a tornado emergency. What happened? I was covering it. Which, of course, I couldn't stay on Facebook Live long because my power was flickering. So I had my phones and computers on charge. When they issued that particularly dangerous situation tornado warning for one county away or 2 counties away, I immediately packed away my laptop, put it in the case, grabbed my phones and phone chargers, put those in the case, grabbed my weather radio, grabbed anything I could get for survival, I had a big box of honey buns that I snack on that I had in my room because I have in my room. I opened up those boxes. I crammed as much honey buns as I could in a bag that I could take with me. I crammed as much honey buns and snack eggs as I could to take with me. And then I grabbed me a few drinks, which of course everybody else had something to drink too. They just didn't have nothing to snack on. They had Gatorades and stuff, and they were drinking something to drink. So I grabbed something to drink, and as I was getting those together, we end up under where I live. At ends up under a particularly dangerous situation. Tornado warning at 11:15 p.m. So it was still 2 counties away. I had time to get my stuff together and get the animals together, and we go to shelter. I still had time. And so we went to shelter for good. We was at shelter till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. And as I was in shelter, I was listening to the weather. Okay, we missed the tornado missed us. Went northwest of us and hit Rough River. It ended at Rough River. So that tornado disappeared. And that was the same long track tornado that went from Jonesboro, Arkansas, ended at Rough River Dam State Park in Kentucky. And its history. It's called the Quad State Tornadoes. And that happened 1 year from tomorrow. Which by the time this part of the video goes up, it'll probably already be December 10th. So after that tornado dissipated, there was another tornado that funneled up and formed in Tennessee and came up toward Bowling Green, Kentucky, and which destroyed a few neighborhoods. That one was an F3. Destroyed the backside of the Corvette Museum, caused a fire in the roof of the Corvette Museum and part of the Corvette factory. Caused damage to the airport down there. Tore a roof off a building at the airport down there. I actually went down there the next morning after the tornado hit, and I helped clean up. And we drove around town. There was parts of the town that we didn't have phone signal. I wanted to go to Mayfield where the big tornado was, but I didn't get to make it that far. The closest one I could go was Bowling Green, which that was a pretty big tornado. They actually caught a video of the tornado going past the Western Kentucky University campus, and there was college students on campus at that time. I believe they said there was a college student that passed away when the tornado went through. But we drove right through the heart. Where the restaurants that we was going to eat at in Bowling Green, one of the restaurants we was going to eat at in Bowling Green, it was right in the heart of where the tornado went through. The restaurant was there, but we only had to use cash to get food. The restaurant that we ate at was right across from one of the buildings that got completely demolished during the tornado that hit Bowling Green. It was over there by where the Dollar Tree set at, near the main part of Bowling Green, where the Dollar Tree set at in that little mall area. But they said there was about 8 or 10 tornadoes that night, between the 3 big ones and the little and the other 6 or 7 little ones. The biggest tornado was the F4 that went through Mayfield. And then, as you know, okay, Nashville, Tennessee, they got hit by a tornado on March 2nd of 2020. They had another tornado that went through the day of that Bowling Green, and Mayfield got hit. Yes, we haven't had a tornado outbreak at all this year. The last bad tornado outbreak that happened before 2021 was March 2nd of 2012. But that tornado outbreak was caused from there was a lot of heat in the atmosphere that was ramping it up. And on that day, we was in a 5 out of 5, the high chance, in 2012. December of 2021, that Friday was the worst tornado outbreak that I've probably ever seen. It beats March 2nd of 2012. And it also beats the April 3rd, 1974 tornado outbreak. So, new record for Kentucky with tornadoes. And so you can now, might as well go consider Kentucky Tornado Alley now. Even though we didn't have a tornado outbreak this year, doesn't mean we can have another one. Even if there's a tornado outbreak or it's just a small severe weather risk and you get a tornado warning, still take things serious as if what happened on that day. There's been a lot of people that's been taking things seriously since that day. That happened 1 year ago. And then I heard Campbellsville over there in Taylor County had an F3, but they didn't have as much damage as Bowling Green did. But I'm just going to tell you guys, for the folks that watch us in the state of Kentucky, it's just a matter of time before your town is next. You don't know when it's going to be your turn. Because it could come another outbreak and you don't know if it's going to be in your backyard. I mean, yes. I mean, if places like Mayfield can get hit and Bowling Green got hit, just a matter of time before you hear places like Louisville and Lexington and places like that get hit. Even Owensboro. Maybe here in Litchfield. But us here in Litchfield hasn't had a tornado come into city limits since 2000, 2001. Haven't had a big one come into city limits or near us. So it's been about a good 22, 21 years since tornadoes came through where I live at. Not saying it's never going to happen. It can. You just don't know when it's going to happen. Because you got these smart alecks that runs around and they say, because I know some smart alecks, they'll run around and say, "Oh, a tornado ain't going to hit Litchfield. It'll never will. It just because it happened back then says it'll never hit again." Well, they're wrong. They're a bunch of idiots. It might have happened back then, doesn't mean it'll happen again. It may be 30, 40 years before it happens again. Just be prepared when it happens. It's gonna happen, and you can't predict where a tornado is gonna hit. You can predict where you can see on radar where it's forming at, and you can track it, but you can't predict it. You can't predict them. But I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. But I'm just going to tell you guys, we're in Tornado Alley now. But I'm going to go ahead and get off here. I'm going to sign off because we've made it to the hour part of the stream. I'm going to go ahead and get off here. You guys have a good night. I'll see you guys at some point. I'll see you guys in the next video.